Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day today. I'm going to be sharing with you a review on the Laura Geller Baked Liquid Radiance Foundation. My shade is in medium. And this is a fairly new product that just came out probably within the last month, because I've been testing it out for about a month. And I got it off of QVC's website for $39.98. I know that Ulta just came out with it, so you can get it at Ulta now. But the cool thing about QVC is a lot of times you'll get a brush along with a product. And so this was the case with this Laura Geller foundation. You got this brush, looks like this. It's kind of a angled, it's like a blunt cut, angled, like, I wouldn't say kabuki, but that's basically what it's, kind of what it reminds me of, which I like a lot better than a flat foundation brush. But this it's really soft. I really do like that. It's extremely soft. But I found that this applied it kind of streaky. I think it just does that because it can't cover a very large area. So I don't really like using this brush. I prefer using my IT foundation brush. This is the 101 blurring foundation brush. It's a lot fuller and it covers a much bigger area. I'm wearing this foundation today, by the way. And I just find that this applies the foundation way easier. I don't have to work as hard. I know that a comparable brush to this one is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I don't have that one, but yeah, so if you're looking for one that's similar to the IT brush, check that one out. So that is the brush I use with it. As far as coverage wise, I would say it's light to medium coverage. It is definitely buildable. I usually have to apply at least 2 full pumps. I tried it with one and it's extremely light if you just do 1 pump, which I don't mind, honestly. I don't. But that's only like I would do that probably in the summer. But if I were to wear a foundation, I probably would do that in the summer. But for right now, since it's spring, but my skin has had a lot of just issues. I've been a little stressed with stuff. So I've gotten some breakouts and such, and so I need more coverage. And so I've needed about 2 full pumps of foundation. And I find that really works with this foundation. What I do like is that once you take the cap off, it's a pump, which I love a pump. Foundations that are like in the glass bottles, like this one is, it is a glass bottle, but the foundations that are in those glass bottles that just have the cap that screws off, it's like, how are you supposed to get it out? So I definitely prefer the pump. So I'm very happy that it has a pump with it, and the shade match is actually really good for my skin. Again, I have the shade medium. They have, as far as color range, they have, like, I think it's porcelain, all the way to rich. So I really like that, just because it gives people from very, very fair skin to pretty dark skin a shade selection that you don't have to mix with another one and whatnot. So I'm happy that it has that kind of shade selection. So on to what I think about it. I made some notes on my phone about it, so if you see me looking down, that's why. So I find that it's buildable, light to medium coverage. I find that it's very natural looking. It still feels like skin, even though I have 2 full pumps on. I don't feel like I have foundation on, which is actually really nice. I don't like to feel like I have something on my face. It just does not, I can't do it. So that I really like. The texture is actually, for a foundation, extremely thin, which I really enjoy, just because it's not incredibly thick like I'm thinking of the, I always go back to this for consistency texture-wise. The Rimmel Stay Matte foundation has that thick kind of consistency, which I like if I need a lot of coverage. But if there's a lighter texture foundation that still can do that without it looking like I have foundation on or making it look cakey, that's what I like. It does not look cakey, so which for somebody like me is really, really good. At the end of the day, it doesn't make me feel like a grease slick. Most of you know that I have pretty substantial oily skin, but I would say over the past few months, it has been quite dry. I think it's because I've changed my skincare system, so I'm using the Proactive Plus, and that has salicylic acid in it, and it dries my skin out more, so I'm thinking that's why I have a little bit more of a drier skin type now. I'm not saying that in the summer I'm not a grease slick, but I love the fact that this foundation does not make me feel like a grease slick at the end of the day. That is something that is very important to somebody that has oily skin. You just don't want to feel like a grease slick. It's like, okay, we don't need to feel that way. So that's what I really like about it. Finish wise, I wouldn't say it's matte, but I wouldn't say it's a dewy foundation. I would say it's more of a semi-matte, which I actually don't mind. Usually I like a more matte foundation just because I do have oily skin, but this foundation, I really, really like the finish. It's very, very nice, and it can come off kind of matte, but I would say it's definitely a semi-matte finish. So it holds up really, really well. Just, and I kind of touched on this, but it holds up really well as far as working. It holds up very well. Even the thing that I was shocked about is how well it stood up underneath the stage lights. At my church, I'm on the worship team, and the stage lights get pretty hot, so I was amazed at how well it stood up. Usually I can feel like my foundation's like dripping off of me because it doesn't stay under the lights, but this foundation does, which is pretty amazing, and that pretty much put a gold star on it for me, just because I need a foundation that can hold up day to day, but also in the more not strenuous, but more activity filled times. I need it to be able to stand up to whatever I'm doing. So that was actually something that I really was pleased with. The other thing that and I kind of touched on this, the other thing that I really liked is I was on my worship team a couple weeks ago, and I applied this foundation at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I did not take it off till probably at least 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and it held up for 12 hours, which is really good for me personally, just because I have oily skin, and to not have to touch up like every 15 minutes is I'm probably exaggerating, but that's just amazing to me that it can hold up for 12 hours and I don't really get that oily. I mean, I've only had to touch up one time, and I touched up that day around 1:30, and that was the only touch up I had to do, which for me, again, is saying something. So I really like that, and that activity is not really strenuous necessarily, so but still, especially under the stage lights, so that was really impressive to me. The other thing is, when I worked all morning this past Tuesday, after about 8 hours of wear, which honestly, still 8 hours, no, I didn't have to touch up, is still really good. I did get oily in my T-zone, but of course that's natural for me to get that. So I think it just depends on your activity of what you're doing. So bottom line, I absolutely would repurchase this foundation. I really like this. There's not a lot about it that I don't love, except for the shade selection. Overall, I absolutely love this foundation, so I definitely would repurchase. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it's helpful for you. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye!